If that's okay.
Dapper's the right word.
All right, gang, let's fire ready. Ready in the back? Really proud of this team. First, proud of our fans that are buying all the tickets. And I told the players, I look around the country and I watch a lot of college football, and that's not happening everywhere. So they should feel very proud that their fan base is excited and coming and watching them play, and made a difference in the ball game. I thought they were really loud and really proud of them. And as we always say, it's so great for the community that we have this many people coming in and eating and buying gear, and so that's fun. That's what college football is supposed to be. It's supposed to help your university, and it's supposed to help your community, and right now it's doing all of that with our undefeated team. So proud of the guys. I told them at the start of the game, we're playing to a standard, and last year Syracuse was undefeated and then lost some games, so they were going to come in like Pittsburgh and be ready to play. And Dino Babers is a really good coach. But I don't think I've seen first half that dominant in a long time. They had 22 plays, we had 59. They had 70 yards, we had 400 and a bunch. So we rushed the ball against a really good defense that has a lot of craziness about it because they're moving all the time and they're blitzing all the time. And we ran for over 200 yards and only had the 2 sacks with 47 passes, and never seen Drake any better. And really happy for Tez Walker that he got back on the field. And I love the way our fans responded to him because the young man's living his dream. And as of Thursday morning, he didn't think he'd ever get to play here this year, except for a bowl game. So what an unbelievable night for him, and one that he'll remember for the rest of his life. Plus that catch he made over there in front of us was one of the best I've ever seen. To jump up in one hand, make the catch, and keep his foot in, it was just a freakish play. So we've got things we need to fix. We obviously still too soft on our shield on the punt. Same thing happened tonight that happened at Pittsburgh. We've got to be more aggressive in our shield. A guy reached over. People are putting tall guys that reach over your shield, and you can't let that happen. Thank goodness we don't punt much. And Ben Kiernan made an unbelievable play to make the first down after the block punt, because that could have given them some life early in the ball game. But you start looking at 10 of 19 third downs, and some of them at the end. We tried to play a lot of people, and that probably took it away, but they only had 4 of 11. So really 1 of 1 with the blue team on 4th downs. Kicked every ball out of the ability to return it on kickoffs, made all the field goals. So a lot of positive things as we get ready to put this one to bed and get ready for Miami. Questions?
Sometimes when you're coming off an open date, teams may take a little while before they get rolling. Did you have a pretty good feeling that this team was playing up that standard heading into this? Because the standard isn't just Saturday, it's all week long.
I did. I've never seen a team have 3 practices as good as they did last week for open date. That's a mature team. That's an older team. And it's a team that wants to play well. I told them I wasn't going to grade the first half. That one's gone. We're going to take the second half as a game, and we're only going to grade your second half. And we're going to do that. We're going to grade separately, so they'll have 2 halves, because in the past sometimes we've been a little complacent when we get ahead. And I want them to get so they continue to play to a standard. They don't play to a score or play to another team. So really felt good about this. I told them I usually am anxious before a game. I wasn't. I was excited to watch them play. And they played like I thought they would.
Mack, after South Carolina, you said that if Tez had played, you thought he might not have played well because you had been so fired up, so amped up. Did you have that same worry going into this one, or were you more confident?
Michael, I did. I was sitting there, and so we get told at 12:30 on Thursday he's going to play. Then we have to go find him, and he's in class. We have to try to get him out of class because the NCAA was going to release a statement at 12:45, and we didn't want him to read it. We didn't want his family to read it. So we actually had to find him, get him over, try to tell him right quick before it was announced, then tell our team, because we like to tell them before things are announced. And then we thought, he and Lonnie Galloway went immediately downstairs and started working on game plan stuff, because he had not worked with the offense for 3 weeks. He'd been on the scout team, and he'd even been on the scout team with special teams. So, number one, we didn't know how much he would know. Number two, you've won 4 games with guys that are playing really well. Do you just put him in when he hadn't practiced and take their spots away? That's not fair. So we really, until this morning, we decided we weren't going to start him and we were going to play him, but we wanted to work him in. We didn't want him to be overwhelmed with just being thrown out there. And then the fans responded to him so well because the story is so important that I don't know if I could have handled it with all the emotion going on, and I thought he did so well. I don't think he dropped the ball, did he, of the ones that were thrown to him? I think he caught them all.
Mack, your offense is...
Okay, go here first.
I was going to say he had to drive 95, 94 yards first half. I mean, Syracuse couldn't get his hands on the ball very much. We're talking about being dominant.
Yeah, when they punted us down at the 5-yard line, it's one of the things we said, if we're going to be who we are, you can't be nervous about being 95 yards away, you got to go score. And so proud of them that they did.
Your offense has really kind of been in flux all season with guys coming in and things that evolving. Was today kind of what you've envisioned, able to have 17 play drives, also big play capability, running, passing? Was this more like what you've been expecting, what you've been wanting?
Yes, and you go back, we had one holding penalty that we overcame. We had a hands to the face that we overcame. But yes, we want to be balanced, and Drake is Drake. He's just so good. But our offensive line was better tonight. We had Willie Lampkin back, and that really helped us. But yes, this is who we want to be tonight. I don't know if you call it balance when you throw for 400 and run for 2, but when you can run for 200 and hold them to 92, that gives you a chance usually to win the game.
Mack, what did you shut them out in the first half? Like, what did you think made you so effective defensively? I mean, scheme, you had it scouted up. I mean, obviously, what did you think worked there?
Yeah, we're getting more healthy. Kevin Hester was hurt, but I thought Tamari Fox and Travis Shaw stepped up tonight and played. I told Travis it's time. There's when somebody gets hurt, you got to step up and you got to go now. So it'll be fun to watch him and see how many plays he played and how well he played. But we're doing a lot better with gap control. And Schrader is a really good player. I told him after the game, he's so competitive, he's so tough, and he's 6'4", and he's 225, and he probably runs 4'5", and he's hard to tackle. And he didn't have much success tonight because we stayed at home. And Gene Chiswick's done an unbelievable job, he and the staff, of getting people to start playing defense like we're supposed to. And this may be the best defense against a good offense we've played since I've been back. I thought it was, because the one touchdown drive they had was a ball that was underthrown on 3rd and 15 that Tayon's got to learn to play, and he could have intercepted. In fact, I thought he was going to. The guy made a great catch, or they don't score. So we're starting to play better defense. When you play better defense, and you're playing a lot of people, and they're not worn out all the time, you're less likely to be flat. You're less likely to get as many people hurt. As we have done both in the past, and when they play well, they get more excited about playing well, and that was fun to watch them tonight.
Mack, I don't know what you can share, Mack, but what was the new information that came out that allowed NCAA to change your mind?
You know, I'm so excited about Tez playing. I'm looking forward. I'm not going to look back, and I do think what my comments were not anti-NCAA, they were for Tez. We don't get up around here and start talking bad about the NCAA. That's not what we're trying to do. What we want to do is we are always going to take up for our kids. And I told them it's like my children, my grandchildren. If they do something wrong, there's consequences. But if they do something that's right and they're treated poorly, like we thought Tez was, we are going to fight till the end to make sure that they get justice. And that's important. So that's all we wanted. All we wanted is for the information that was out there to be judged properly. And I understand the NCAA, we all griped when they had too many people transfer. I got that. But let's don't go from letting everybody transfer to letting nobody transfer. Let's have some common sense in the rule. And that's what they did. So really and truly, I'm proud of them that they were able to reverse something that is hard to do. So I'm really proud of the NCAA and the way they came back and handled it.
Mack on game day this morning, Herb Street shared that he texted him, "Don't forget about you guys when talking about ACC contenders. As you get set to face your first ranked opponent next week, how prepared do you think this team is to handle those types of expectations?"
Yeah, I didn't, but that's okay. Kirk and I are good friends, so he can use me if he wants to. I think he was getting after McAfee because I saw that, but don't say I didn't. I did. No. You know, what we're worried about is getting better. We've started talking down the road before here, and it jumps up and bites us. So we are talking about we need to get better every day and every week to play to a standard. And we're starting to do that, but I still think our best game's out there, and we're going to have it next week because Miami's so good. I've watched them enough that they're such a talented team, and they're playing with a lot of confidence. And that'll be fun. I'm going to leave here, watch our game, and watch Georgia Tech Miami tonight. That's my Saturday night.
In addition to what you,
How's Clyde Christensen helping Drake get better since he arrived here? What's he specifically doing for them?
Clyde Christensen, Freddie Kitchens have both played they've coached in Super Bowls. They've coached #1 draft choices. They've coached the best quarterbacks to ever play. And what a wealth of knowledge they are as they sit there and talk to Chip and look at Drake about footwork and progression and here's something Tom did better, Drake, than you're doing. So look at this. Let's watch this video. He can't coach him on the field, but he can coach Chip. And that helps so much. So we're so blessed. Lonnie Galloway played quarterback, and he's got great knowledge of our passing game. And Chip Lindsey came in and did exactly what we asked him to do, and that's keep the parts of the passing game that were so good and improve our running game. And we've done both.
in addition to what you said about dealing with Schrader, how important was that you guys didn't give him the edge tonight? And there was one play in particular when Cedric got the strip, KBJ kind of fleshed out and did not let him get around the edge, which allowed Cedric to come in and make that play.
Yes, it's really important because that's part of gap control. We've given up the edge. We did it earlier. App State got the edge a bunch because LeQuint's a really good player too. He's a real good running back, and every week we'd see him. Those two we had to stop, and we had to make them throw the ball and feel pressure, and we had to keep Schrader in the pocket. And our guys did all of that. So they were a very well-coached defense tonight, and I'm very proud of all they've done.
Coach Brown, is this the kind of team that you love to coach as far as they know they're good enough to win the remaining games on their schedule, but they continue to grow more and more each week? Just what do you love about coaching this team after a 5-0 start?
You know, I told this team on Sunday, let's look at college football right now. Clemson loses to Duke. Not many people thought that was going to happen. And then Clemson is a field goal away from beating Florida State, and people feel like Florida State's a playoff team. And then Notre Dame loses to Ohio State on the last play of the game, and then Ohio State barely beats Duke. So does that mean Clemson, Florida State, Duke, Ohio State, and Notre Dame are all about the same? It's confusing now. You better play. You better play every week, and about the time you think you don't have to play is when you get bit. And I love watching scores tonight because I can use them tomorrow and say, okay, this bunch wasn't ready to play on Tuesday. And that's important for this team to keep understanding. You don't look at this game. I was so proud tonight they didn't overlook this game for Miami. This was important to them to get better, and that's what they did.
Yeah, we got time for two more.
You were able to use more of your depth on defense late in that game. Mario Campbell obviously ended up getting the interception. What did you make of their play late in that game as they kind of out there against Syracuse?
Yeah, I thought they played really well. Amari played quite a bit earlier, but there was one play that their backup quarterback scrambled for about 10 yards that somebody was out of the gap. We'll find out who that was. But it was good to get them to play. The backup offensive line and the backup offense got to play. We didn't want Connor throwing it very much because the game was out of control. But when you can play a lot of guys, you're healthier, team morale's better, parents like you better. Transfer portal's not as full. I mean, there's so many boxes that check, and I was really proud. And the reason I put the second team offense in at the 15 was I was afraid that the clock would run out if they got the ball back. And that's why I didn't kick the field goal. I wanted to get them another play. And if the clock had run out, we wouldn't get them in again. I wanted to get them in, so we just said the coaches didn't want to put them in at that time. I said, I don't care. We're putting them in, and that helps.
Matt, did they mob you in there? Is that why you were trying to fix yourself when you came in here? Did they?
No, it really has something to do with the way the headset works. So it's I've seen that before.
I didn't know if they had the mosh pit going or something
No,
like that.
no, they're happy though. Anything else?
One real quick thing. You just mentioned something about not, being ready on Tuesday, and I asked you about the standard in this whole week. Tuesday is just as important part of the standard as Saturday is. And has that been one of the most difficult things for you in building this program, getting to the point where all these days connect?
Absolutely, and I've done a better job this year of telling the coaches and players, I want Tuesday's practice to be graded like a game. Coaches so often say, he didn't do that very well. I said, so we got beat. He's got to do it well. And we've got to hold each other more accountable every minute of every day. We can't get comfortable. And when you're winning, you get more comfortable because I don't want them to grade this video tonight like we won by a bunch of points. I want them to grade it hard. And I want them to grade it like we lost. And that's very important. I've told the players that. You walk out of here and feel good that we won, but you be really hard on yourself and really critical of yourself and your self-evaluation, because we need to get better. And you need to be telling the coach what you did wrong. Drake, for instance, had he had the bad throw to Tez on the 95-yard drive. And he goes down, he's about to score. He's hit about 10 passes in a row. There's a timeout, and he comes to me and says, God, what a bad throw. I said, you just hit 10 in a row, man. I said, don't go there. And then Tez was wide open on the deep ball that Drake hit Nate for. And I walk over, Nate and Tez are sitting there, and I said, Drake like you better than you? I mean, he's more open than you were. He threw it to you, and Tez said, man, we got a touchdown. I don't care who he threw it to. So that's what's happening with these kids. Is there anything else before Jeremy runs me off? Anything else?
You said this is the best team defense you've seen against a good offense. Sorry, Jeremy. Since you came back, I mean, what makes the defense so good this year, especially since last year's defense, wasn't only a team successful?
We're talented. We're older. A lot of the guys that have been criticized that were very highly recruited players that were playing probably before they were ready to play weren't playing consistently good. They're getting older. I saw Miles Murphy show up a lot tonight. I'm seeing Des Evans show up a lot. Kamen Rucker's in the position he should be in now. So they're experienced, they're older. We're coaching them so well right now, and they're putting a lot of pressure on each other. Thank you. Have a good night. See you on Monday.